What up, everybody? Welcome back to Jayfabe Wrestling. Sorry for the bit of hiatus. I was just going through some things, but yeah, I'm back. And now we're on episode 35. So we're almost done here. We're talking about WrestleMania 35. WrestleMania 35 took place April 7, 2019. And it took place at the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, with the attendance ranging from 68 to 70,000. And yeah, this was a very long show, so I'll go through the card right now. So we had Tony Nese defeating Buddy Murphy to win the Cruiserweight Championship. We got Carmella winning the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. And we got Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder defeating the Revival to win the Raw Tag Team Championship. We got Braun Strowman winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And in the opener, Seth Rollins defeating Brock Lesnar to win the Universal Championship. AJ Styles defeating Randy Orton. The Usos defeating Aleister Black and Ricochet, Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, and The Bar. Shane McMahon defeating The Miz. The Iconics defeating the Boston Hug Connection, Nia Jackson, Tamina, and Beth Phoenix and Natalya to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Kofi Kingston defeating Daniel Bryan to win the WWE Championship. Samoa Joe defeating Rey Mysterio to retain the United States Championship. Roman Reigns defeating Drew McIntyre. Triple H defeated Batista in a no-holds-barred match. Baron Corbin defeated Kurt Angle, and this is Kurt Angle's retirement match. The Demon Finn Balor defeating Bobby Lashley to win the Intercontinental Championship. And in the main event, Becky Lynch defeating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair to win both Smackdown and Raw Women's Championship. So, yeah, I mean, look, this was a very long card, and obviously the next year they went to 2 nights, but this probably would have been a good time to do 2 nights. I just feel like they have so much people or so much matches on the card, but there's like so much people still not on the card. Like, we still don't have Undertaker on the card. We still don't have John Cena on the card. The Hardy Boyz are not even on the card. So yeah, like there's definitely something here we could do. I think with 2 nights, you could just make it, get more people on the card. But it was pretty hard trying to cram everyone in here. And I also want to point out, I know Kofi versus Daniel Bryan was a great moment. It's really hard to change. But obviously, in my rebooking, I have Kofi win the WWE title at WrestleMania 26. So I'm going to be, moving in a little bit of a different direction here. But obviously, if I didn't rebook that moment, that I would definitely have Kofi versus Daniel Bryan, because that was the best match on the card here. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to rebook this long WrestleMania 35. So yeah, let's get into it right now. All right, so the first 2 matches I have are on the pre-show. We got the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. And just looking at the participants here, so they had Maria, Candice, LeRae, Nikki Cross, Naomi, Ember Moon, Lana, Kairi Sane, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and Sarah Logan. So yeah, I actually wouldn't have Asuka in this match here, and I would add a couple of the legends from the tag match there. So like Beth Phoenix, Natalya, and Nia and Tamina. I would put them in this match here. And I would actually have Ember Moon win, because, she just debuted, I believe, last year. And I don't think WWE did much with her. So I think giving her this win would be a nice way to give her momentum for after WrestleMania. And then we got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The participants, we got Curtis Axel, Lindsay Dorado, Tyler Breeze, EC3, Shelton Benjamin, Bo Dallas, Heath Slater, Titus O'Neil, No Way Jose, Carl Anderson, Rhino, Bobby Roode, Grand Metalik, Kalisto, Chad Gable, Connor, Victor, Luke Gallows, Otis, Tucker, Jinder Mahal, Luke Harper, Ali, Apollo Crews, Andrade, Matt and Jeff. And then we got the two SNL guys, Michael Shea and Colin Jost or Colin Host. I don't know. I'm going to have like more people probably in this match as I make cuts. But I would actually give this win to EC3 just because, man, they didn't do anything with him. So I think at least giving him the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal win hopefully gives him a little bit of momentum. But yeah, they did absolutely nothing with him. It's a damn shame. All right. First match I got is the Women's Tag Team Championship. I have the Boston Hug Connection versus the Iconics. I just wanted to, have less multi-man matches or multi-women matches here and just a straight-up tag match here. And the build is very simple. The Iconics could win a number one contenders gauntlet match. And yeah, it could be simple where the Iconics claim, that Sasha and Bayley are old news and, it's all about the Iconics. And then, Sasha and Bayley could talk about how, we really put women's wrestling back on the map and we're not going to lose to the new flavor of the month here in the Iconics who are all about, being arrogant and cocky and all about the fame when, we're here for the wrestling. So nice dynamic here. And I know this did cause a stir when they did lose the titles, the Boston Hug Connection, and then Sasha did walk away. So to avoid all that, and I think, they probably deserve the longer run anyways, I would have Sasha and Bayley get the feel-good win here. All right, next up, we got the Raw Tag Team Championship match. I got Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. So yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the fall of the previous year, Braun kind of aligned himself with Dolph and Drew. And eventually, I don't know what happened to the team, but Braun turned face. So I think it makes sense here to, for Dolph and Drew to, attack Braun and say, that he was the weak link in their group when they're trying to take out the Shield. And they put Braun on the shelf for a bit. And Dolph and Drew, they could, after retaining their titles at Elimination Chamber, Braun Strowman can come out and attack them, and then he challenges them to the match, and Dolph and Drew accept because they think, Braun can't find a partner. And then throughout the weeks, Braun says, I have a very old friend who is going to be coming back at WrestleMania. And it ends up being, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. But I would actually have, Bray actually turn on Braun Strowman here. This will, slowly bring out the Fiend character. And, I think makes sense storyline-wise. And I think it's a great way to, introduce the Fiend character. Next up, we got the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match. I got the Usos versus the Hardy Boyz versus the New Day. We could have a ladder match here. I think this would be a fun match. You got three of the most greatest teams of all time, actually, with the Usos and the New Day being, the modern era greats, and of course the Hardys still being, beloved here. I think it can be just straight up the Usos and the New Day are in the ring. They're talking about, we got to settle this once and for all. Who is the best tag team? Is it us or is it you? And then the Hardy Boyz can make their return because I believe Matt was injured for a bit. So the Hardys can make the return and say, don't forget about us. Don't forget about the Hardy Boyz. And, one of the New Day guys can say, hey, you know what? How about us three TLC? Yeah, bringing it back to like the top three teams here, like in 2001, with TLC at WrestleMania. So yeah, and then they could just have different variations of tag matches, have some brawls with some ladders to build here, and I think this would be a great match. And I would actually have the Usos retain here. You got to keep the Usos strong here, I think. But I think it would be a really good match. All right, next up we got the Intercontinental Championship match. I got Bobby Lashley with Leo Rush versus Kevin Owens with Sami Zayn. So yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but I believe Bobby Lashley was the one to injure Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens kind of took a break there. So yeah, Bobby Lashley could just, he could retain at Elimination Chamber or Fastlane, whatever it is, and you can have Kevin Owens just attack Bobby Lashley and say he's coming back. And it's not just for revenge, but it's for the Intercontinental Championship. And yeah, Bobby could talk about how, KO claims he's a prize fighter, but I actually been in real fights. And KO could talk about, it doesn't matter how much you lift weights or how good you look. It doesn't matter. It's all about the heart. And, no one can take pain and punishment like me. And you could even have Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley ambush Kevin Owens in the ring. And I would have Sami Zayn return because he slowly returned slowly after here. And get Kevin Owens' side here, have him return. And at WrestleMania, I'd have Kevin about to get the win here. But Sami turns on Kevin Owens. He pulls KO out of the ring. And leads to Bobby Lashley retaining here. And they can have KO and Sami feud after. Sami, he returned after Mania as well, and he was still a heel. So, I think it only makes sense there. And Kevin, he's good as a face. So, and I think it's a cool moment for Sami Zayn to actually kind of get his revenge on KO for turning on him. So. All right, next up we got the United States Championship match. We got Shinsuke Nakamura coming in as a champ versus Rey Mysterio versus Rusev versus Andrade. Yeah, simple build here where Nakamura could, talk about Knock America and that, he's a great ambassador because he comes from Japan. And then you could have, Rusev come out and say, that he's a true ambassador of America. And then you could have Andrade come out and say, he is. And then Rey Mysterio could come out as well. And, they could have, number contender triple threat match here. And Nakamura can, attack everyone in the match there. Kind of ends in a no contest. And then he's forced to defend it in a fatal four-way here. So, and you got dynamics here. You got two heels, two faces. You could even talk about Nakamura and Rusev, how they used to be a tag team, and even Rey Mysterio and Andrade, their history there, with Andrade, trying to become the next Latin star. He's trying to chase Rey Mysterio. So this should be a really fun match here. And I'll give Rusev the win. I think, you got to reward him for him being so over. So I think it'd be a nice feel-good win for Rusev. All right, next up we got the Brothers of Destruction versus Shane McMahon and The Miz. So yeah, I was really trying to think of what Undertaker could do on this card. It was very hard to really think about what he could do. So, you could have Shane and The Miz brag about being the best in the world and all that. And just, I think, them as a heel team was good. And then, they could just brag about, how they're running Smackdown. Shane's still the GM or whatever. And then you have The Undertaker come out and say, SmackDown is still his show and that, he can't stand for, people trying to take advantage and people, thinking they're the best. And you could have, Shane and The Miz actually, brutally attack The Undertaker. He could be gone for a couple of weeks. He could return and he says, I found some help. And then Kane can come from behind and, attack Shane and The Miz here. And, I think, tag team match, Undertaker showed again, I think he teamed with Roman shortly after to face Drew and Shane. Yeah, he could do a good tag match here. So, and I think this is just a nice way to get Undertaker on the card. I just felt, we don't have much years of Undertaker, so he should have been on the card. And, it kind of blows off the Shane and Miz. They could kind of feud after this match here. So, yeah. All right, next up we got Finn Balor versus Randy Orton. So this is a interpromotional match. Finn is from Raw, I believe, and Randy's on SmackDown. You could actually start the build here at the Royal Rumble where Finn eliminates Randy, and then Randy, he goes back in the ring, eliminates Finn. He kind of snaps, and I don't know if he could do the punt again, but if he could, I would have him do the punt. And Finn could be out for a bit. And Randy could be, in the Elimination Chamber match, and, the lights could go out, and Finn's kind of playing mind games, distracts Randy. He gets eliminated. And, And Finn could return the next night and say, he challenges Randy to a match. And Randy says, you don't want it with the Viper. I'm the most deadliest guy in the WWE. And Finn says, you're not fighting me. You're fighting the Demon. And we got the Demon versus the Viper here. And Randy can talk about how, he's not scared of no demon. He's a demon himself in the ring. And, Finn can talk about how, Randy's been a constant here. And he's trying to, hold the young people down, but this is Finn's time and Finn's moment at WrestleMania. So I think they'll have a really good match. Randy fought AJ on the real card here, so I think it'd be just as good or maybe even better. And you got to give Finn Balor the win here. All right, next up we got Batista in his retirement match and a no holds barred match against Samoa Joe. Yes, so obviously, Batista, Triple H, the storyline didn't make sense here. But, I don't want to rebook matches that I had before. I know in my rebook I had a WrestleMania 21 Fatal 4-Way with Evolution. But, I just want to do something different here. So, I could have Batista come out when he returns. I don't know when he returned. But you could talk about, he's thanking the fans, saying, he says he's done it all and he's about to retire. And, from behind, Samoa Joe can choke Batista out and say, you're not going to retire because you want to. You're going to retire because of me. And Samoa Joe could talk about how, when he was in TNA, everyone was talking about WWE and this guy named Batista. And look at his body. And Samoa Joe said, he vowed to one day, fight Batista and prove that, Samoa Joe is better than Batista. Batista could come out and say, if this is my last fight, I'm going to go out fighting, me and you, WrestleMania, no holds barred match here. And they could just have a couple pull away brawls, pull apart brawls, whatever it's called. And, I think the promos would be good with Samoa Joe, just, talking smack and, Batista, he's pretty good on the mic too. So, I would actually have, Samoa Joe obviously get the win here to retire Batista. He could counter the Batista bomb into the sleeper hold submission, and Samoa Joe gets the win. All right, next up we got another dream match here. AJ Styles versus Triple H. So we got a lot of TNA versus WWE going on here. So this is pretty good. AJ could talk about, he has no match for WrestleMania, and he wants a challenge. He could wait a couple weeks, and then, Triple H could come out and say, you know what, I accept that challenge. And AJ could talk about how, he's been in WWE, proving he's the best and that he wants to face the best. And Triple H could say, I always respected you, AJ, but, let's be real. Everything you done, is second class. What you did in TNA was second class. The club compared to DX and Evolution is second class. And compared to me, you're second class. That'd be some good heat there. And AJ can, respond and say, I didn't have everything handed to me. I had to work from the indies to get to, the WWE, and now I'm going to prove that I am phenomenal. And, I think this would be a really good match here. Triple H, this was actually his last WrestleMania match. So, him versus Batista, I didn't really feel that match, but I think, AJ and Triple H, this might be a nice way, to give Triple H a nice send-off here. And, I would give AJ Styles the win. He can counter the pedigree into the Styles Clash. and hit the phenomenal forearm, and after the match, they could shake hands, and Triple H could kind of, pass the torch to AJ Styles. All right, next up we got John Cena versus Roman Reigns. So I wouldn't book this match. I know they had a match at No Mercy 2017. I wouldn't book that. That's kind of a waste there. Yeah, I think this would be the time to book it here. Cena did nothing on the card. Roman fought Drew. This would be the first time ever in my world. So yeah, you could have Roman return, because obviously he had the real life health condition there. He could say, I'm in remission, y'all. It was a great moment, no doubt. And yeah, I think that same segment, John Cena could come out and say, he can talk about how Roman, he showed, to never give up and hustle, loyalty, respect. He kind of shakes his hand. And yeah, they go from there. And then the next week, Roman could talk about, how when he was in the ring with Cena, he felt magic, and he wants to challenge John Cena to a match at WrestleMania. Cena can come out and say, last week I was being really nice to you because, your situation. But, if you want this to get personal, let me know. And Roman could slap Cena, and Cena says, all right, watch next week. And next week, Cena could kind of go hard on the promo, kind of like what he did in 2017, talking about how, I'm here because you can't do your job right and all that stuff. But, hopefully my road, Roman's a little more over than what he is, because I kind of rebooked him differently. But, and Roman could talk about, how Cena's a phony and he's fake and he claims he's all this, but he's not. And now he's become the part-timer like The Rock. So, I think it'd be a good match here, and you got to give Roman the win since he's the new guard. I'm thinking if we can turn him heel here, it's possible you can turn him heel, but I think, maybe just keep it clean for now and turn Roman heel later down in the year. But Roman can get the clean win, and they can kind of shake hands, and Cena's kind of endorsing the new guy. All right, next up we got the Smackdown Women's Championship. We got Asuka versus Charlotte. So, yeah, Asuka to win the title at TLC thanks to Ronda Rousey, kind of costing Becky and Charlotte the match there. And this match did not happen in my timeline because I had Asuka challenge Alexa Bliss the year before. So, this is still a fresh match here. And Charlotte could just win a number one contenders elimination chamber match or whatever. And a simple build, we got the Queen versus the Empress. Charlotte could talk about how she's heard all these stories of Asuka and NXT, but she wants Asuka to prove it to her, and Asuka says, no one's ready for me, even the Queen. And they could have a couple brawls here and there. You could have Charlotte, ambush Asuka, hit her with the figure eight. So Asuka's kind of coming in with an injury here, and you could have even Asuka miss Charlotte in the build here. So and they had a great match last year, so I wouldn't doubt they would have a great match this year. Asuka was kind of left out, because they made Charlotte in the main event, but obviously I have something different here, so I think this is a good match to have, and I would give Asuka the win here. I think WWE had a lot of momentum behind Asuka, and you got to continue it here. All right, next up we got the WWE Universal Championship match: Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. I'd keep all this the same here, but I wouldn't have Seth win the Rumble. Seth could just win the elimination chamber match there. And keep the build the same, where Seth says, he's a fighting champion, Brock Lesnar's not, and and Brock can kind of disregard Seth Rollins and injure Seth Rollins, but Seth, he says he's coming back at Mania. He doesn't matter how much F5s Brock hits, he's gonna keep coming back here. And Paul Heyman can have some great promos on Seth, saying he's a great utility guy, but he ain't the guy like Brock Lesnar. And the only thing I would change is I would actually give them a real match here, because they had a great match at SummerSlam that year. So I think you could just have that match here. And I think it'd be a great match. And, Seth Rollins, he deserved the win after, what he did in 2018 with the IC belt and with the Shield here. So, yeah, I think this would be a nice moment here for Seth. All right. Now we got the semi-main event here. I got Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle. Yes. So the Kurt Angle retirement run here. So right after WrestleMania, I have Triple H and Steph fired Kurt Angle as GM. And, say if you want, you can be a talent. But, because obviously Kurt and Ronda beat Triple H and Steph there. So, yeah. Kurt could have, he could have matches, big time matches here with, different guys here. He could fight like Roman. He could fight Seth. He could fight like Finn Balor. Yeah, he'll start losing these matches here, and Triple H kind of does what Vince did to Ric Flair and say, you know what, Kurt, next time you lose, you're out of here. You're forced to retire. So yeah, Kurt can start winning matches. Then he could defeat guys like John Cena. He could defeat he could defeat guys like Randy Orton and a couple other young guys. He could get a nice win over. And yeah, and Kurt says he's gonna be in the Royal Rumble match because he wants to headline WrestleMania. And then Triple H can come on and say, Kurt, what I said still stands true for the Rumble. If you lose, you're out of here. You must retire. So Kurt's kind of thinking about it and says, you know what, he's going to do it because, he thinks he has one more run in him. And, yeah, Kurt could win the Royal Rumble here. And, yeah, and he can kind of decide who he wants to face, Seth or Brock or Daniel Bryan. Brock says, Kurt, I know you want to get that win back on me. And Daniel Bryan could talk about how, he's anti-America because, like all what they do to the environment. And, and Kurt could choose Daniel Bryan because he says, you could talk about me, but you can't talk about America, And, yeah, they could just talk about the dream match here. Daniel Bryan could talk about how, he's always wanted to face Kurt, but Kurt's never had his head right. Or he was, in the minor leagues in Florida, and Kurt could talk about how he paved the way for guys like Daniel Bryan, and without his sacrifice, Daniel Bryan wouldn't be here. And yeah, I think after Rumble, if you give Kurt like 2 months to just train, he won't have any matches then, just train. I think they could have a classic match here, and this is a dream match, I think WrestleMania is all about dream matches. This is one we actually could have got, but we didn't. So I'm going to make sure that we got it. And, yeah, Daniel Bryan can get the nice, clean win over Kurt Angle. And after Kurt can, have his moment in the ring and, thank the fans there. So, all right, the main event of the evening, we got the Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey defending against Becky Lynch. This is what should have happened. I know they did the triple threat match, but this is what should have happened here. And yeah, I think the build is very simple. Becky would win the Royal Rumble. I would actually have her in the match and not do this whole injury thing and stuff like that. And yeah, she immediately chooses Ronda Rousey. They could have a couple brawls and they could even maybe put a stipulation where, like, they can't touch each other. Kind of like what they did for Triple H and Austin, where, like, if Triple H, touched Austin, he would be suspended. If Austin touched Triple H, he would lose his title match. So you could do the same thing there. So, and then it would be great because from there you could just build up the promos and stuff, and I think that would be awesome with the promos here. Becky can talk about how Ronda, she ain't nothing. She joined her industry, and Ronda, she thinks she runs the industry, but this is wrestling. I'm Becky Lynch. I run the women's division. I'm the man. And Ronda could talk about how she's defeated much more bigger threats than Becky, and Becky's just all talk. And yeah, they could like really get heated here, get face to face here, with security, and yeah, I would actually have Becky get the win here, and probably I know Ronda probably didn't want to tap out, but in my road, I would actually have Becky tap Ronda out in the disarmer there, and we get that feel good moment with Becky Lynch. The pyro goes off, first ever women's main event, and the most over superstar ending the show. So guys, I think the improvements I made on my card here. First off, giving Kurt Angle just a better send-off here. Him versus Baron Corbin wasn't it. So I think, that's great. And I think him versus Daniel Bryan is a dream match. Obviously, Daniel and Kofi was, great as well. But like I mentioned again, I gave Kofi his moment at WrestleMania 26. So I wanted to do something a little bit different here. And AJ versus Triple H, I think it's an upgrade over Triple H and Batista. Same with Batista and Samoa Joe here. You kind of get other dream matches here. You got AJ and Hunter, Batista and Joe. These are, four, really big names in the industry. I saved the Cena Roman first match for here. So, I think that's good. Got Charlotte out of the main event and put her in Asuka instead. And I think, they proved like last year they can have a great match. And I think the heat for the main event would be better with just one-on-one with Ronda and Becky Lynch here. I was still able to get the Undertaker on the card here. Took Shane and Miz out of the tag team titles to do something better at the TLC match with the Usos, Hardys, and New Day should be fun. Kevin Owens, he wasn't on the card. I have him on the card, kind of building up his continuation with continuing his feud with Bobby Lashley, and you can have Sammy turn there, so you kind of got that big moment. The U.S. title match is much better. Obviously, Joe and Ray only went under a minute. I'm not sure if Ray was hurt or not, but even if he is, he still got a lot of talent there in that U.S. title match. Dolph and Drew, kind of paying them off as a tag team, keeping that going. Bray Wyatt having him debut at WrestleMania. I think giving the Battle Royal wins to some new stars, Ember Moon and EC3, and then even just decluttering the women's tag team match, just having straight up one-on-one Boss and Hug versus Iconics. I think I improved the card. I try my best to, not make it as long as it is, but, you got so much talent here, so that's why, you got a lot of matches. But, guys, let me know what you guys think, and I'm about to run down the card for you right now. So we got the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, for the Women's Tag Team Championships, the Boss and Hug Connection defending against the Iconics, for the Raw Tag Team Championships, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defending against Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships TLC match, the Usos defending against the Hardy Boyz and the New Day, for the Intercontinental Championship, Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush versus Kevin Owens with Sami Zayn. For the United States Championship, Shinsuke Nakamura defending against Rey Mysterio, Rusev, and Andrade in a fatal four-way match. The Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker and Kane versus Team Best in the World, Shane McMahon and The Miz. The Demon Finn Balor versus the Viper, Randy Orton. The Animal Batista versus the Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe. The Phenomenal AJ Styles versus the Game, Triple H. The leader of the C Nation, John Cena versus the leader of the Roman Empire, Roman Reigns. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the Empress Asuka defending against the Queen Charlotte. For the WWE Universal Championship, the Beast Brock Lesnar versus the Architect Seth Rollins. For the WWE World Championship title versus career, we got the Vegan Daniel Bryan versus the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. And in the main event for the Raw Women's Championships, we got Ronda Rousey defending against the man Becky Lynch. So guys, that is my card once again. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate the support and peace.